Hi guys, welcome to Ignite India. This is the largest online platform for entrance exam preparation for design, management and law and architecture. Today we have with us Mr. Anand sir, and he'll be taking the class of logical reasoning. Sir, you can start now.
Hi guys, good evening. A wave will be nice. All those whose videos are on, many of your videos not on. Okay, so rule of the class remains the same. If you have any doubts, please throw it in the chat box. Rimjim is there to help us, right? And if there is any query or any doubt, please raise your hand right then. And those whom I can see on my front screen, I will just tell you your name. So I can see Nirupama, Anuksha, Janvi, and Sandeep Kumar. So I can see you guys. So once, if you feel that you cannot hear me, then please put your hands in front of the camera and start waving, okay? So that I understand that I am not audible. Though I've tried to use an earphone today because someone said that with an earphone, my system's problem will be solved. And thus, let's hope for the same. Right, so hope you guys having fun, staying at home, no school, right? And online classes are also not there, as said last time, because I work in a company which handles school products. So I keep talking to lots of principals and teachers, and most of them say only one thing, that we ourselves are trying to understand how online works. So I said, good for you and good for those kids, because it means that it's a holiday period for the kids. As long as the teachers take time to understand how to use the online platform, kids have a holiday. I mean, in this case, this is one technology where I think today's world, kids are the teachers and the teachers should be the students. Because every student knows technology far, far better than a teacher does. Right, so proceeding to today's class, we started with understanding squares and introducing maths in terms of squares, and then we went to numbers, and we started with numbers. Numbers is a pretty huge topic, and we just managed to cross maybe 30% of the entire chapter of numbers, and I didn't feel like continuing numbers all over again. So I thought, okay, let me introduce logical reasoning in between so that you also get a change in terms of your regular learning of maths. So I'm introducing two kinds of topics in my journey towards numbers. One topic is clocks and one topic is calendars. Okay, calendars will come later. Clocks is what we'll go to do today. And once we finish clocks, then the next class onwards, we'll again continue numbers for a certain number of days. And then we'll come back to calendars and then do it. Now in clocks, I assume that each one of you are ready with a pen and a paper, because there are informations that you should write and not miss it. All right. So shall we begin, guys? A quick yes in the chat box, please, so that I know you all are alive, not sleeping, not dozing off. Right. Great. Thank you. Thanks for your yes. Okay, not that if you had said no, I wouldn't start. I would still start, but then this was just a formality. Okay, great. So begin with clocks. Now, what are the various kinds of questions that can come in clocks? One, the first kind of a question that can come in clock is when a time is given to you and you are asked to find angle between the two hands. Okay. The second kind of a question given to you is an R range is given to us along with an angle, and what we need is we need to find the exact time. Okay. And the third kind of a typical kind of a question in clocks that comes is when I have a question where the clock is either running slow or it's running fast. Okay, for other words, the other way of defining this is also in some papers or some books you will find as a clock which is losing time and clock which is gaining time. Okay, so these are the two alternative words used for running slow and going fast. We'll come back to this. So, but assuming that you guys have understood the three kinds of questions that's going to come in a clock topic itself. Right. So coming to the first kind of a question. So before that, we need to understand certain terminologies and certain informations of clocks. So when it comes to clocks, you have to understand one thing, that the questions will only work on the hour hand and the minute hand. Okay. Now, for example, the time now is 6:15 p.m. What are the various ways of telling this time to people? In how many ways do you think I can tell this time to people? The arrow marks doesn't signify that I can say it in so many ways. I'm just confusing you by putting an arrow mark. So don't try to think 5, 6 different ways of telling times. But if 6:15 is the time, just in your mind, start thinking of, or you can unmute yourself and don't type it. Don't type it. There is no point in you putting it in the chat. But you can unmute yourself and tell me what are the various ways of telling this time.
18:15 p.m. I mean 18:15.
18:15, 1800 and sorry, 18:15 hours, right? So that's the defense way of telling the time, the military way of telling the time. Right, 1800 hours, 470, 1900 hours is all defense way of telling the time. So that's one way of telling the time. Okay, great. So 18:15. I do not have to say AM PM in this case because 1800 means it's PM. Right. Yes, please.
Quarter past 6.
6:15, right? So it's 6:15, the evening, right? So the morning or the evening, right? Okay. Any other way of telling the time? Anyone? 6:15 itself is one of the ways of telling the time, right? 6:15 p.m. itself is one of the way of telling the time. What exactly it is? So let's understand. So typically on a major part, we tell time in three different ways. Okay, there are many ways, but everything falls under one of these three categories. One is when I say the time is 6:15, okay, AM or PM. 18:15 is also the same category, that it falls under 6:15. One is when I say 15 minutes past 6 or quarter past 6, right? That's also one of the ways of telling the time. And the other way of telling the time, which is very rarely used in this kind of a scenario, is 6 hours and 15 minutes past noon. The last category of timing is not used much unless and until my time is closer to noon or closer to midnight, right? So if it is, let's say 1:15, it makes sense for me to say it's 1 hour 15 minutes past, midnight, or it's 2 past midnight if it's a 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m. But not significantly used when it's 6 hours, 7 hours past midnight or noon. But let's understand what does these three signify. When I say someone that it's a 6 hours and 15 minutes past noon, I am putting a huge weightage, huge importance into the hour hand. I'm telling you the journey the hour hand has traveled after noon. When I said 6 hours 15 minutes past noon, I'm talking about the journey the hour hand has traveled from 12 all the way till now, 9. I mean, all the way till now. Okay. what happens when I tell the time is 15 minutes past 6? I'm giving the weightage or the importance to the minute hand, because I'm saying now that it's 15 minutes past 6. So the minute hand has more to 15 more minutes compared to the hour hand, is what I'm trying to tell them. But what happens when I give a time of 6:15, which we are highly comfortable with? In this case, we gave weightage to both hour hand and the minute hand. So I give the weightage to hour hand saying that it's 6 o'clock, and I give the weightage to the minute hand saying that it's 15 minutes. So significantly, when I have to distribute clocks or the movement of hour hand and the minute hand, it's divided majorly in three categories. One, where I give importance to both the hands. One, when I give importance to only the hour hand's journey. And one, when I give importance only to the minute hand journey. Did we all understand? Please nod your head if you're okay with it. Yeah, great. So now, taking this further, so that's the main reason why in a clocks we are talking about journey done by only the hour hand and the minute hand. You can unmute yourself and ask a doubt in between. I have no issues, but don't keep the doubt with you. Okay. Now let's take the two hands, the hour hand and the minute hand. Now let's look at a journey. So whenever we talk about a clock, okay, we are talking, and when we talk about an angle, we talk about the angle with respect to a virtual line that starts from 12 and goes through 6. So the angle is always calculated based on a virtual line that starts from 12 and goes through 6. So let's say that I am talking about a time which is 3:25. So if I want to know the angle between the two hands, I need to first know what is the angle from this virtual line to 3, and I need to know what is the angle from the virtual line to 25 minutes. Once I get to know these two angles, I realize that difference between this is going to be this angle, correct? The difference between the hour hand angle and the minute hand angle is going to be the angle here if I want to talk it like as a theta. So I got to find this value theta. So how easy or difficult it is? For that, we need to know the journey made by an hour hand and a minute hand. An hour hand makes one circle or one revolution, okay, in how many minutes or how many hours? So one revolution is nothing but 360 degrees. So an hour hand makes one full revolution, that is 360 degrees, in exactly 12 hours. 12 to 12, right? So which implies that an hour hand makes 30 degrees in 1 hour. Is it right? Is this math right? If the hour hand is making 360 degrees in 12 hours, then in 1 hour it is 360 divided by 12, which is 30 degrees. Okay, 1 hour constitutes of 60 minutes. So in 60 minutes, the hour hand makes 30 degrees, which means every minute the hour hand makes half a degree. This is where we have to understand one thing, that an hour hand's journey is completely dependent on the minute hand. Means if the minute hand stops rotating, the hour hand will not rotate. Imagine your clocks, guys. You will find the hour hand moving only when the minute hand moves. You do not find the vice versa. You don't find the hour hand moving if the minute hand doesn't move. or you don't find the minute hand moving because the hour hand moves. Only when the minute hand makes one full circle, that's when the hour hand goes from 12 o'clock to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, right? So the hour hand's journey is completely dependent on the minute hand. Okay, so which means if my time is 6:15 and suddenly it becomes 6:16, the minute hand has moved how many minutes? It has moved only 1 minute. Means the hour hand has moved how many degrees? The hour hand had moved half a degree. Did you understand this? So every minute the minute hand keeps moving, the hour hand will start making half a degree. With respect to what? Half more a degree. With respect to the virtual line that we considered, that goes from 12 and passes through 6. Now let's understand the journey of minute hand. Are we clear till the journey of hour hand, guys? Anushka, Janvi, yes, others are not able to see you in my screen, but if you're clear, great. If you have a doubt, please unmute yourself and ask. Okay, now let's look at the minute hand. What is happening with the minute hand journey? The minute hand is making one complete revolution, which is 360 degrees in 60 minutes. Because minute hand revolves 1 hour, right? In 1 hour, it comes back to 12. So which implies that every minute, the minute hand makes 6 degrees. Right? So I'm going to take the same example that we wrote here. 6:15 to 6:16. When it moved 1 minute, my hour hand moved half a degree. So in this 1 minute, the minute hand would have moved 6 degrees. Right? From its previous position of 6:15 to the next position of 6:16, the minute hand would have moved 6 degrees. So this are the information, this is the main information that we will use to solve any kind of a question asked in CLOCKS. Now you got to be aware that there are lots of books which gives you formulae. I don't want you to look into those formulas because this understanding itself is pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, we'll understand this very straightforward and simple. I'm erasing the sheet that you see on the book. Okay, now, so let's start understanding this topic with an example. Let's assume that someone's put a chat. What's the chat, guys? Uh-oh. Hema, a minute hand, you want me to repeat? I presume. I just deleted everything. I can't now come back. Okay. So Hema, the point is that I'm going to repeat minute hand for you again. A minute hand makes one complete circle, which is 360 degrees in 60 minutes. That is 1 hour. So which means every minute, the minute hand is going to do 6 degrees. What does it mean? It means this. Let's assume that the time is 3. So with respect to the vertical line, the minute hand is now in 0 angle, right? Because the vertical line is where the minute hand is on. So minute hand is on 0 angle. But now let's understand, let's assume that the time is 3:1. 3 and 1. So what happens? The minute hand has now suddenly made an angle with respect to vertical line because it has moved for 1 minute, right? Now if it has made an angle with the vertical line because it has moved for 1 minute. What is the angle made? That angle is nothing but 6 degrees because every minute the minute hand moves, it moves 6 degrees. So if the time was 3, so this is time is 0:1. So if the time is 3:02, then with respect to the vertical line, the minute hand would have moved 2 minutes. Every minute 6 degrees means 2 minutes, 12 degrees. Hemashri?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Clear with this?
Yes,
Right. So whenever you have a doubt, quickly unmute and ask yourself because it may be a place where I'm deleting this particular screen so it goes here.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, great. Now let's take an example. Let's say the time is, I'm taking the time now, which is 6:25. Please understand, in a clock, doesn't matter whether it's 6:25 a.m. or 6:25 p.m. Because the clock will show the same time. It's up to you to decide whether it's an a.m. or p.m. Now, so 6:25 means that my hour hand is somewhere after 6, whereas the minute hand is exactly at 25 minutes. Okay. So now, so you guys please understand this, that I am not preparing for NIFT or NID. Okay. So my drawing can be as pathetic as it can get. Don't bother about it. If you can understand it, great. If you can't understand, assume that these are circles and that is arrow marks. Okay. I can't get better than this. All right, so 6:25 is the time. So now, what am I in search of? What am I searching here? I'm searching, first I'm searching an angle made with this vertical line by the minute hand. Then I'm searching the angle made by the hour hand with respect to the vertical line. And finally, I will try to figure out what is the difference between the two hands. I hope you're all clear with the picture that you have seen. So first, with respect to vertical line, let's take the hour hand. What is the total distance traveled by the hour hand to come to this time? Remember those timings that I was speaking about, that when you have to give importance to the hour hand, you have to tell its entire journey. So with respect to the vertical line, the hour hand has moved for 6 hours and 25 minutes. Anyone with any doubt? I'm giving you 30 seconds. Please unmute and ask right now here. We are giving importance to the hour hand, and hour hand's journey. Every journey is starting with this vertical line. Please understand this, okay? So that's how you understand this. Every journey is going to start with this vertical line. And the hour hand's journey will also start from the vertical line. Now, so hour hand has moved for 6 hours and 25 minutes. I know that for every hour, the hour hand moves 30 degrees, and every minute, the hour hand moves half a degree. Right? So now, which means for 6 hours, the hour hand would have moved 6 into 30 degrees. And for 25 minutes, the hour hand would have moved half into 25. Half a degree every minute. 6 into 30 is 180 degrees. Plus 25 by 2 is 12.5. That's 192.5 degrees is what has the hour hand moved with respect to the vertical line, which means the purple color angle that you're talking about here is actually 192.5 degrees. Now we go to the minute hand. So now when we are getting into the minute hand, our importance has to be now given to the minute hand. And minute hand has moved how many minutes? What is the journey made by the minute hand with respect to the vertical line? The journey made by the minute hand is 25 minutes exactly, because that's all it has moved from that 12. And every minute, the minute hand moves 6 degrees. So 25 minutes, the minute hand would have moved 25 into 6, that's 150 degrees. So the angle here in the blue range is 150. Now what would be the angle in between two of them? Difference between 192.5 and 150, 42.5 degrees. Did you all understand this? Yes, guys? Great. Now, so all I have to know is I have to know 3 main ingredients. Number 1, hour hands movement, every hour 30 degrees, every minute half a degree. and minute hands movement every minute 6 degrees. These are the major 3 ingredients that I have to know, and if I know this, I can solve any kind of equation that comes under clocks. Okay. Right, guys. Mitushi, Ashia, clear? Right, the others have gone muted. Sandeep Kumar, Sanjana, Arnab, Karen. So I hope you guys are clear with what you have done. Okay, so quickly, can we move into, so tell me this, what would be the angle between the two hands? Shubhankar, you're clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Great. So I would really want now you guys to answer me that what would be the angle made by the two hands of a clock if the time is, let's assume 3:40. That's the time. 3:40 is the time. So what is the angle made by the two hands?
Is it 200?
Sorry?
Is it 200?
I don't know. I have to check that. I just randomly gave you a time. So we'll
It
wait
should,
and see.
it should be 200, yeah.
Okay, let's see. So all of you can type in your answer in the chat box. Let's see. 3:40 is the time given to you. So I got Anuja saying 130. Pritika says 150. Rita says 130. Jasim 150. Who said 200? Can you type in your answer? Sanjana says
I did
150.
one mistake.
Okay. Okay. Right. ठीक है. So the time is 3:40. So what is my RR journey? Or R hand journey is 3 hours. So 3 into 30 plus 40 minutes, which is half into 40. Okay. So let's look into this. The R hand journey is 3 into 30 plus half into 40. 3 into 30 is 90. Half into 40 is 20. So this is 110 degrees. Minute hand has moved exactly 40 minutes. So 40 into 6, 240 degrees. So the difference is 240 minus 110, 130 degrees. Right. All of you, you have to be careful in your calculations. You cannot make silly mistakes, especially when you know what to do. Okay? In case you do not know what to do and then there is a silly mistake, pardon, because I anyway didn't know what to do. But if I know what to do and then I'm doing a silly mistake, then my entire effort is being flushed, which I have to be careful of. Okay? I hope those who didn't get 130, you now understand how you got 130, right? You did the R hand movement, which is 3 hours, 3 into 30, 40 minutes, 40 into half. Please understand, you got to do this, okay? You have to take care of R hands 3 hours of journey, and you also have to take care of the minute hands 40 degrees, 40 the R hands 40 minutes journey. And that's where you get the total journey made by the R. And when it comes to minute hand, you got to take only the minute hands journey, which is of 40 minutes. So that's 240. All you have to do is you have to subtract the big number from the small number. Okay, that's all you have to do. Subtract big number from the small number and you should get the answer. Okay. Now, so are we clear with, or anyone wants one more set of an example for you to practice, or shall we proceed? Please type in if you want one more example. or we'll proceed with the next. Okay. So proceeding with the next. Right. Thanks, Karen. So now comes the next one. The next place is, so first category was that I will give you a time and you got to tell me an angle. So that category we completed. Now the next category is where I'll give you an angle, you got to tell me a time. Okay. So this is one category where things go slight complicated. So guys, just to remind you, there's around 4.5 minutes left before we log out and then we log in again. Okay. I have to close this by 7, correct, Rimjim? I think Rimjim is sleeping. Okay, great. So now the next time, so next question. Before going to the next question, let's understand the information. Let's have an information. All of you can imagine a clock when the time is 3. We all know that the angle made by the two hands is 90 degrees. Now, imagine a time, I'm not telling the exact time because I myself may not know. Imagine a time when, imagine a clock when the time is around 3, let's say 32, 31, 32. Okay. As I said, my drawing is not great. So imagine a time which is between 3:30 and 3:35. Do you realize that there is a time here when the angle again becomes 90 degrees? I mean, this figure may not show it as exact 90, but can you imagine a clock where 3 o'clock, the two hands are 90, and somewhere in 3:30 kinds, the two hands are again 90 degrees? Yes. So what is happening is between when the R hand is moving between 3 and 4, an angle like 90 degrees is happening twice, not once. So if someone says, okay guys, tell me what is the time when the R hand has struck 3, when the R hand has struck 3, what is the time, okay, when the angle is 90 degrees? So someone will say 3, which is absolutely right because the R hand has struck 3. And someone may say, okay, it is 3:30, 3:31, which is also absolutely right because it is struck 3 and the angle is around 90 degrees. Which comes to a main information that each one of you should now write down, okay? Certain information I want each one of you to write, and those informations are this. Number 1, an angle of 0 degrees, okay? 0 degrees is coinciding. So for example, 12 o'clock is an angle 0 degrees made by the two hands because they're coinciding one above the other, right? An angle of 0 degrees and 180 degrees is made 11 times in 12 hours or 22 times in a day. An angle of 0 degrees. 0 degrees is basically, as I said, coinciding. So 12 o'clock is the time when you are having 0 degrees. So it is less than 1 minute, guys. We may log out. We will come in again. And 180 degrees is opposite to each other. That is 6 o'clock. Let's assume 6 o'clock as a time. So you see the two hands are 180 degrees. So coinciding and 180 degrees happens only 11 times in a 12-hour period or 22 times in a day. Okay. The next information I will write after logging in. We will log in again and then continue.
I have a doubt.
Can you ask the doubt once we log in again? Because this is going to log off soon.
Sure.